Welcome back to Houston Life. For 9 years, you've seen the Global Comic Relief fundraising campaign on NBC and the Red Nose being sold at your neighborhood Walgreens stores. It's an effort to build better futures for all children. The money raised benefits two organizations right here in our own community that support local youth. Here with more, we have Shantae Eden with Genesis Works and Valeria de Jesus Casas with the Student Conservation Association. Welcome to you both. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
And first of all, congratulations on another hugely successful Red Nose Day, which took place earlier this year. Let's chat about your organizations, because from what I've heard, you already have the money and it's already going to work. Let's start with Genesis.
So Red Nose for us is really helping fund our support for our young high school students. So Genesis Works is a national nonprofit organization that provides corporate internships to underserved communities. And so we are kicking off right now our corporate training with the funds that were provided.
We love that. And you, Shantae, are currently a Houston board member for the organization. You became aware of its work about 10 years ago.
I did.
What caught your eye? Why did you want to become involved?
Well, really because of my personal experiences also, but I've seen the impact it can have on our high school students. Coming into a corporate space, being able to be exposed to what that feels like, and many times first generation exposure to that and exposure to post-secondary spaces, that's really important.
And the results of your work and the organization of Genesis Works, what kind of transformation have you seen in these young people?
I've seen young people come into these organizations very shy, really not understanding how to work in these corporate spaces and what skills are necessary. And then at the end of the year, we have these things called reflection meetings, and they get a chance to share their stories of how they were transformed, how their siblings and parents and families have also been transformed.
We love that. That's absolutely fantastic. All right, Valeria, you're with the Student Conservation Association. Break down for us the mission of your organization.
So SCA is the Student Conservation Association. We're a nonprofit organization dedicated to building the next generation of conservation leaders and environmental stewards, and we do that at a national level, but we have an urban green chapter here in Houston where we work with underserved youth in certain communities, and we work on environmental justice issues.
Okay, we love that, because green space in an urban setting is so critically important, and we also see that lower income neighborhoods typically lack access to green space. What was your reaction when you found out your organization would be receiving funds from the Red Nose Day event?
I felt so privileged to be able to work with Comic Relief. They're doing such amazing work globally, so to be a recipient of these funds ultimately is mobilizing us to get even more people out there into these programs, into green careers, and serving their own backyards.
And when it comes to environmental justice, which you mentioned is an important part of your work, there are so many communities in Houston who are really affected by pollution, considering the industries we have here in town, the air pollution, water pollution. How is your organization combating that?
So we work in neighborhoods, and we try to tailor programs dedicated to the issues that the neighborhood experiences. So, for example, we have this great partnership with Fur High School. They're located in a food sovereignty community, so they're food scarce.
Wow.
So the work that we do with them is dedicated to food justice and teaching the students about the local environmental issues, as well as developing skills and leadership opportunities for them to stay engaged and mobilized to be the change in their own neighborhoods.
It just underscores both of your organizations, and the involvement, the work you do in the community underscores that there is so much work to be done in a large city with a large population. The school systems, I know many of them are struggling, but it seems like your work is bridging the gap to make up for areas that are oftentimes forgotten. Would you agree, Shantae?
Absolutely. We work with about 40 high schools across the Houston area, and about a couple hundred students every year to really help them bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be, and really provide economic advancement for them.
And Valeria, what would be your message to viewers out there who have seen these Red Nose Day specials, or maybe you've seen the Red Noses at Walgreens and you're not quite sure, wait, what is this all about? It's an entertaining night of television and people are probably vaguely aware of it, but I feel like you've both given us just a great reason to better understand how these funds really trickle down and work in our own communities.
Red Nose is doing amazing work to get people out, educated and involved, and I feel that more community members should know these foundations that are doing amazing work supporting initiatives all across the world, especially in Houston, where, you know, we're one of the most climate impacted cities in the country. As climate change progresses, we're going to be at risk. So having a foundation like Comic Relief and the support of Red Nose Day, we're able to mobilize more hands on the ground to restore our green spaces and make our city more resilient while they get the educational experience that they need to advance their own careers.
Well, Valeria De Jesus Casas and Shantae Eden, thank you both for stopping by Houston Life, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. And in the meantime, for a link to support these organizations, you can look for the Scene on Houston Life section of our website, houstonlife.tv.